So welcome to Job Club. We're so glad you've joined us today. We'll get started shortly. Welcome to Job Club. We're so glad that you've joined us today, and we know that you will benefit from this session. There's no doubt about that. I want to remind everyone to locate the chat box and toggle the to icon to everyone to ensure that we see your questions and comments as we move through the program. In addition, let us know where you're from and where you're logging in from, what kind of work that you are seeking, and if that just helps us to know how far our outreach is, and we'd love to hear from you. So go to that chat box right now and let us hear from you. I'm Diana Doggett, and I'm an UK Extension Specialist, and the Job Club agenda is in front of you right now. We are going to welcome. We have success stories, a main speaker. We're going to share some active job leads, partner updates, and then tell you what will happen next time at Job Club. Our mission for Job Club is to provide a positive environment for job seekers to network and learn best practices for their job search. We meet on the second and fourth Tuesday of each month, and you can find the schedule of topics at ukalumni.net/Job Club. Our Job Club facilitators, our team, consists of Caroline Francis, Director of Alumni Career Services at UK Alumni Association. Amanda Shagney is the Associate Director of Alumni Career Services. We have Nicole Waite. She's the Employment Specialist at UK STEPS Temporary Employment. And Suzanne Smith and Sunny Saylor with the Fayette Cooperative Extension Service, and Ellie Goodman and Grace Herring with UK Alumni Association. It takes a team for Job Club. Job Club is currently hosted in a hybrid format, and it is in person currently at Fayette Cooperative Extension. So we hope that you'll join us if you're anywhere nearby. We welcome you. We also have another option on Zoom webinar, and that chat box moderator is available, again, for your comments and questions. And third, we have Facebook Live, and that is view only. We do not have a chat moderator or job lead newsletter sign in for that. We are, let's move this down, okay. So we have access, you could access our presentation slides and recordings of previous Job Club sessions. And today's session will be online later this week. So you can go to ukalumni.net/Job Club for those session recordings. One of the things that we love to remind our viewers about is our free job club resource packet. And if you go to our website, you will find just an array of information there that will help you for your job search. We have Central Kentucky networking opportunities. We have informational interview tips. Articles of interest are posted regularly, as well as a resume review checklist and verb list. So be sure and check that out. And we know that you will benefit from that, and we want you to be sure and know that it is available to you. We also want to remind you to preview job leads as we receive them. Join the Central Kentucky Job Club sharing community on LinkedIn. And this is an opportunity for you to learn about job leads in the interim between our 2 weeks of presentation. So it's a great place to go to network with other job seekers. And we also put a lot of articles of interest in between the times that we meet regularly at Job Club. Employers and recruiters are always welcome at Job Club. And in-person employer guests may have a 1-minute spotlight to share active job leads with the group later in the program. We want to remind you to watch your email that will arrive later today for job leads that have been shared with our Job Club team. So that arrives later on this afternoon, and those that we received today, we will also include. We would like to welcome first-timers. If you are joining us virtually, please put that in the chat box. Let us know if this is your first time to visit and attend Job Club. We have some first-timers in our audience, and we want to welcome them as well. And we're always very, very interested on how you learned about Job Club. So share that in the chat box as well. We are always interested on the network process, the how people learn about this valuable resource. We will have a survey for first timers. If you look at the QR code on the screen, that will take you to a very short survey so that we can put you into our notification system, and you will receive our emails on a regular basis about programs and resources. Success stories is really what makes Job Club valuable, worthwhile. It tells about what's been accomplished. And so right now, again, we like to utilize that chat box and find out just what you have attained during the last 2 weeks, or if this is your first time, what you've been doing in your job search. So share with us any success story. We define success stories as revising your resume, or maybe you've reached out and networked with a past employer or colleague. It could have been that you've joined LinkedIn for the first time. All of these are stages of the job search that will hopefully end up and find employment for you. One of our success stories is from an out-of-state alum, and I thought this was interesting. She just sent in that I have found the Job Club packet so helpful. There are a ton of great information in there that has encouraged me to remain resilient in my job search. Thanks again. That's a success story. The fact that she has really reached out. She's listened, she acted upon the fact that we've announced that this is online, and she researched and found that it was a valuable resource. Let's see, do we have any online that we would want to share of its success stories? We'll give you time to think about that while I share one that we just received. We always ask permission of anyone that has secured employment if we could share this, and we have permission to do that today. I'm happy to report that after 13 months and at the age of 66, I was offered an opportunity last week. The best part is that it was in my chosen field of pharmaceutical sales. Also noteworthy is the fact they asked for a 3-year commitment that is a perfect fit for me. To make a long story short, I began to network on LinkedIn with a former competitor of mine that I met approximately 20 years ago. We were always friendly adversaries always very respectful to each other. When I saw that he was representing the same company as a manager now, I reached out to him and learned he had a current career opening. I reached out to you to convey how important and valuable the time and knowledge I gained through my experiences with the UK Job Club. The optimism and positivity gained from my exposure to Job Club are a gift and blessing to me. You always went above and beyond relating to my counseling sessions. You even went as far as to help me totally restructure and revamp my dated resume. Your entire crew, guest speakers, and many contributions are truly amazing. Moral of the story and lesson learned, just when I was about to give up on myself in my job search, I turned over that one additional rock and got lucky. To my fellow job searchers and searchers, especially those who are feeling a little bit of a possible age discrimination, keep digging and searching. There are employers out there that are still valuing the wisdom that we bring forward. I wish you nothing but success with your continued search. Warm regards, Mike McConkie. So we are just rejoicing with Mike today, and I think he had a lot to share with what it takes for a diligent job search, not giving up, and taking advantage of what we share at Job Club. Okay, Grace?
You have one success story in the chat today. Jacqueline has 3 interviews scheduled this week for RN jobs. So big congratulations to Jacqueline. That's awesome.
Wow, we'll be reading for you, no doubt. Be sure and keep those success stories coming. We just love, that's what motivates us. And we take your cues on developing topics and those resources and principles that we feel are important in your job search. Well, we're ready for today's presentation, and it is my privilege to introduce our today's speaker. No stranger to anyone in Job Club. Caroline Francis is the director of the University of Kentucky Alumni Career Services Program. She is a certified professional retirement coach, a certified career counselor, certified career services provider, a global career developer and facilitator, and a board certified coach. So if those aren't enough credentials for you, then I don't know what else we could provide. Seriously, Caroline has over 20 years of experience working with adults in all stages of her career transition. And in her alumni career services role with the University of Kentucky, she assists individual clients, develops career-related programming, and writes regular columns for the UK Alumni magazine. She is a cohort here with me. She helped to co-found the Central Kentucky Job Club, which is still going strong. And we just welcome Caroline today and know that she has some really valuable information. Thanks, Caroline, for presenting.
Thank you so much, Diana. As you know, Job Club is very near and dear to my heart, and it's awesome to see so many people joining us today virtually and in person. We love helping you get to a better spot. So I know you're going to have a lot of takeaways today, whether you are career changing, looking to job search, or maybe you're underemployed, and maybe this will give you the nudge to just step up that job search. But lots of good takeaways that each of you will receive today. First of all, great news. It is a really good time to job search right now. I've been doing this, as Diana said, a few years, and I have never seen the economy so favorable to the job seeker. I've seen a lot of highs and lows, but it is a really good time to job search right now. With that being said, it will still take some persistence, some hard work. You're going to still need to really focus and be able to sell yourself and practice good job search strategies to make any career change or job change. But it's a great time to job search right now. In the chat box, let's share some reasons that people change careers. What are some reasons that you might be looking at as to why you want to change a career? What are some common reasons people change careers? And when some of those come in, I'll have our chat box moderator, Grace, share some of those with us.
Right. We do have a few. Joseph says he is transitioning out of the military. Mimi says burnout, boredom. We see more money, work-life balance, family, needing new energy and new challenges in work and life. I like that one. No growth opportunity, job has been eliminated, change of location, bad first experience at their initial job. Lots of really great answers. Thank you all.
Thank you for sharing. Lots of great reasons. Some of the things that I see with career clients related to why they change careers, or some common reasons, would include salary. Maybe people have just peaked out in their career and they're going to have to change careers if they want more salary. Perhaps they no longer are passionate about the field. I mean, we all have lots of interest. Maybe we've just done something for a long time and we just don't have the spark doing it we once did. Bored, want a new challenge. That was certainly mentioned in our chat box. Less stress. That's a great reason to want to change careers or to change jobs. More flexibility. And we certainly saw that, or are seeing that during COVID. And I want to address the Great Resignation. The Great Resignation, with what we're seeing with clients and the research, it's more about the great job change. It's people evaluating what they want, what they're willing to put up with, what they need in their careers, and reevaluating and going about a job search. Many people we're seeing got used to working hybrid or remotely and did it quite well and are now looking for companies that offer more flexibility. Others are really seeking the Great Resignation as an opportunity to get more work-life balance. So these are all great reasons to change careers. Perhaps your industry that you, or career path that you started on in your career has become obsolete. We saw this a lot during the Great Recession of 2009, 2010. Whole industries evaporated overnight, and many of those will never come back. They haven't come back and they never will, forcing people to have a career change and go about a job search. Also, I'm working a lot with people mid and late career that are happy to have had a great career, but there's so many things they still want to do. So encore careering is another reason that people go about changing careers. So is it time to change careers? These are a few things to consider when you're thinking about, is it time to change careers? Come Sunday afternoon, all of a sudden, do you become a little bit more anxious than you were on Friday? Does your family notice the difference? If you're dreading going to work on Monday, it might be time to change careers. There was a wonderful old book titled No More Blue Mondays that addressed that topic. Perhaps you have not had motivation to increase your skill set or build your resume. And if it's been a while since you've done anything proactively to advance your career, then it might be time for a career change. Other reasons, maybe your job is impacting your health, and no job is worth impacting your health or your family relationships. So I tell clients that sometimes I can tell the minute they walk in the door, oh my gosh, a heart attack waiting to happen. This job is not worth it. So no job is worth your health or your family relationships. Maybe there's a limited future in your career, or you've capped out early in your career. And when we're 18, 20 years old, trying to choose a major in college, these are things we just don't think about. More of the long-term path of where a career may lead us that we start out in early career. This I see with clients. they had never dreamed they would be in the same job or career as long as they have been. And all of a sudden it's 20 years later and it was just an okay job, provided a stable career. But through a job loss or a values reshape, all of a sudden they're like the need to be proactive and be more intentional about finding work that's a good fit for them in their future. You may have limited opportunities to use your preferred skills. This is where it comes in handy if you know your transferable skills, if you know your Clifton strengths, and I'll address that a little more in the future. Maybe as you've honed those in or developed those, you're not able to really use them in your chosen career path. Often we just want to learn something new. There are so many careers that are on the horizon now that were not here 10, 15 years ago. And so we wouldn't have known that would have been a career earlier in our careers because it wasn't a career or a job yet. So many new jobs are being developed each day. So keep your radar open for something that, radar up for something that might be a good fit for you that just wasn't available earlier in your career. And also new passions and interests. Hobbies often develop into a career, an encore career or a mid to late career or job change. The bourbon industry, the last 10 years, it's unbelievable how many jobs the bourbon industry has brought to Kentucky. And many people who have a passion for bourbon have been able to transition and make that a career. So those are just some of the things that I see with clients on, is it time to change a career? Change your career. So grab a pencil and paper or open a Word document. I'm getting ready to share some strategies for changing careers. Here goes. The first strategy or things to think about is to truly evaluate your current job satisfaction. Okay. How hungry are you to make a career change? Because this is going to take some work. You may have to dip into savings a bit. There's some delayed gratification involved. How much do you want this? Sometimes we just like to complain, or maybe we've had a bad day. But if this has been something gnawing at you for a while, then this is a good time to get serious about a career change because the market is in your favor. Okay. Good time to be thinking about a job change or a career change. So I need you to pinpoint your dissatisfaction. Get as specific as possible. What about your current job or career is causing you unhappiness or dissatisfaction? Is it the work task? Is it the industry, the company, the mission? Perhaps it's your coworkers, maybe it's your boss, this work schedule. Pinpoint as many things as you can identify that is causing you unhappiness in your current career. Okay. Also, I'd like for you to get clear about what you want more of and what you would like less of. So these are trigger questions for you in your homework to process later. What would you ideally like more of in your next career? What would you like less of? This is where, if you know your Clifton strengths, another way to think about it is, am I truly getting to use my Clifton strengths? Alumni Career Services is a benefit of membership for people that are active and life members of the UK Alumni Association. Anyone can join, and that will allow you 2 career counseling sessions with our team where we can administer assessments such as the Clifton strengths. So then evaluate, do I need a job change or a career change? I always encourage clients to have a couple of job changes to see if some of the things that you're not pleased with can be rectified if you just change the job. So job change or 2, always before the effort and what you would need to do for an all-out career change. Okay. Next, I'd like for you to think about what truly would need to change in this job for you to be satisfied or to stay. Okay? If you could magically make your situation better in your current career, what would have to change? What would you like to change? And this can give you clues on making that career transition smoother. Step number 2 in a career change would be to do that soul searching. Think about your values, your interests, your personality, and your skills. We call those our VIPs, and these are things that career counselors can work with you on. But what are your values? And are those being met at work? Or is your job being diabolically opposing your values? What are some of your interests? And assessments can certainly help identify that. What do you enjoy doing? What do you like doing as a hobby? What kind of books do you read? Podcasts do you listen to? Blogs? Pay attention to what you're paying attention to in life. These could be clues for your next career. So we're always thinking about clues if you're not sure exactly what you want to do next. Personality. Do you know your Myers-Briggs temperament, personality type? There's a wonderful book called Do What You Are that I highly recommend. Do What You Are. And it devotes a chapter to each of the 16 Myers-Briggs personality types, and it helps you see what you would need to be more satisfied in your career. Great resource. Also, the Clifton Strengths here is another incredible resource. And lastly would be skills. What types of things do you enjoy doing? What types of things are you good at doing? Think transferable skills, and we'll talk a little more about transferable skills. But just because you can do something and maybe you've done it a lot in your last career doesn't mean you enjoy it. Maybe it's just time for a change or to develop another skill set. Transferable skills. I'd like to use the chat box now and list some of your transferable skills in the chat box. Everybody needs to be able to identify and own your transferable skills. We all have them. Sometimes when our confidence is low, when we're perhaps between job opportunities, we're not able to identify those as clearly as we should be able to. But anytime you're in a job search or career transition mode, be clear on what are your top transferable skills, and ideally the ones that you want to be using next. Could be budgeting, salary negotiation, management. What are some of them that might be coming in the chat box now, Grace?
So far we have language skills.
Good.
Responsibility, clear communication. Another one for communication, definitely a good one. Critical decision making. Collaboration, problem solving, organizational skills, customer focused problem solving, ability to accommodate coworkers, detail oriented, responsible, proactiveness, teamwork.
Awesome. Great. Ideally, you need to also be able to have 2 or 3 very specific examples that tell a story about when you've used that transferable skill. These will be things that you'll likely encounter in future interviews. But for homework, make sure you know what your top 5 transferable skills are. And depending upon your target job or career, be very strategic about which transferable skills you're going to sell in your job search documents, your LinkedIn profiles, your cover letter, your resume. Those need to come out loud and clear for any career changer. Your transferable skills are often going to be what helps you make that transition. Third strategy for career change is to begin a brainstorming list. If you're not quite sure what you want to do next, the old pen and paper or spreadsheet brainstorming list. What are 5 or 10 careers that you think you would enjoy? Don't be too critical at first, but look at those jobs that maybe have some spark for you, and keep a list of those careers of interest. Maybe it'll be a job 2 or 3 down the road, or a career that you do as an encore career. But have a brainstorming list going. Also be thinking about when I am truly in the flow. It's a psychology term meaning when we lose track of time. What are you doing? What types of activities are you engaged in? Whether it's part of your current job or a hobby. What are you doing in life when you are in the flow? And that might provide some clues as to a potential career. Strategy number 4 is explore and dabble. First thing we always recommend is doing some shadowing. So find some people that are doing a career you think you're interested in. Ask to shadow them. Also find people that you could conduct informational interviews with. We always recommend that before any major career change. Maybe what you've envisioned this career is not really what they do on a day-to-day basis. So talk to people that are actually doing it, ideally in 2 or 3 different locations or settings. Get advice from them. What advice would they have for career changers? What transferable skills do they find most helpful? What certifications? How do they network? So conduct some informational interviews with people that are doing what you think you want to do next. Take a class. Volunteer. Maybe you could have a side gig to try it out. Perhaps you could do some freelance work or seek a contract. Or maybe you could take on a project in your current position that would allow you to perhaps segue into a career more of interest in the future. Next strategy is to build your resume. And for career changers, you do need to be strategic. Also, for career changers, there's a really good chance you will need a functional resume. A functional resume focuses more on those transferable skills. So for instance, if you're a teacher and you've been teaching for 15, 20 years and you realize, I think I'm ready to change careers, I'm kind of burnt out. But if your resume only consists of teaching positions, an employer may not know what to do with you if they're not an educational-based organization. So the hard work is always going to be on the job seeker to make it clear to an employer that you have what they need. You have relevant transferable skills, you have relevant experience, you've done some outside work to be a viable candidate for a position. So your resume will likely need some tailoring anytime you make a career change. Also, you're going to need to update your LinkedIn profile. Under your name, the branding opportunity, you want to list what you're looking to do next. In that About section is a great opportunity to share your pivot story. So those are strategies to update your resume and to be more marketable in your job search. Next is rebranding. Strategy number 7 is to rebrand. And this will need to take some effort on your part, perhaps by taking a class, getting some new credentials that will help. On your LinkedIn profile, perhaps you can change your backdrop picture to show you more in the field or in a setting that you'd like to go in. Keywords, be very conscious of what keywords, what's the industry language or jargon of the industry that you're seeking to enter or transfer into. What are some other suggestions on branding? If you have any suggestions on how you can rebrand yourself or things that you have done, please share those in the chat box with us. LinkedIn is a great way to rebrand and start joining groups with the target career or industry, following companies that do what you want to do more of. Any other ideas coming in?
Joseph suggests to follow pages and people that work in the career fields that you would like to work in.
Great suggestion. Great idea. It is, as I mentioned earlier, it really is a great time to make a career change or to step up your job search. In the past, unless you had about 70 to 80% of what the job description called for, I would not encourage you to apply for a job. It was a waste of your time because the level of competition would have been so high that you really would not have been competitive. But we are in a short window right now where if you have at least 50 to 60% of what that job description is calling for, apply. Submit a tailored resume, share your pivot story. You may get called for an interview. People are getting called for interviews now when they probably would not have been called 5 years ago for a similar job search. So I really want to encourage you to clean up your documents, get serious about a transition, do some work. Now's a really good time to consider making those changes in your career. Career changers need to employ different strategies in their job search. Go ahead.
Yeah. So someone in the chat would ask that you define pivot story for them.
So, okay, great question. It's our responsibility as a career changer to show enthusiasm for a new career and to tell a story on why we're making this change. We don't want to make them guess on why we're making this change. We want to show to the employer that this is a well thought out decision, that we've done some work. So examples of people that have made pivots might include people that I've known, for example, someone that has gone from finance to physical therapy. So this person had to take some classes, but had to also convey that this was their passion career. Maybe they had gone through physical therapy and had found it to be very life-changing, and they are now passionate about being in that field. I've known people that have gone from perhaps being a chemist to someone who is now has an ag business. So being able to tell why you're making this change and usually showing some passion or being able to tell how this has impacted your heart, why you're serious about making this change is your pivot story. Practice that pivot story with people. Make sure it makes sense to other people and that it's convincing enough for an employer to take a chance on you, because employers, they're taking a bit of a risk on career changers. And Job seekers that have made career changes have come back to me and they said, I never dreamed, Caroline, in that interview. Once I convinced them to give me the interview, I never dreamed I would have to sell myself as hard as I did on why I'm making this career change. So basically, you want to reassure them that you're not a flight risk and that this is something you've thought about. So a job search for career changers needs to be, it's going to be a little different. If you apply to a job board, your resume or your experience may not pass through the computer applicant tracking systems because you just don't quite fit the mold often of people in that career path. This is where we really need to rely upon our network to put in a good word for us or to share a bit of our story with someone who works for that company. This is where LinkedIn, connecting with people and maybe sharing a little more of your story or getting involved with special interest groups on LinkedIn so that they can see that you are learning to transfer into that career and getting experience and what you need to transfer into that career. Many companies, you are still going to need to apply online and follow their directions, but it helps if you can have your network speak on your behalf on why you would be a good candidate. Also with internal searches, if you're changing careers or looking perhaps for a function change within your same company, your reputation ideally will speak for itself. So you have a better chance. It's a little easier to make that first change within your company or industry before making a complete career change outside of your company or industry. So use that network, use a functional resume, be more strategic with your LinkedIn. Next is being able to convince the hiring committee that you are an ideal candidate, that you can bring something to the table even though you may lack some of the skills or the years of experience they're looking for. This is going to require really being a good communicator on your pivot story, but also being able to share examples of your transferable skills and how that is relevant to the employer and to the job of the hour. If you do not have a lot of paid experience, you can certainly list volunteer positions. Experience is experience. So find ways to strategically build your resume and then being able to tell stories and give examples of when you've done something similar or that you would be a skill set you would be using in that job. A couple more slides before we open it up to a few questions. Next, I'd like to share some common pitfalls and talk a bit about these pitfalls for career changers. First is failing to invest the time and energy in self-assessment. So being able to clearly say values, interests, personality, and skills, being able to identify why those are a good fit with your new career. With career clients, I'll often have them write a one-page proposal at the end of career counseling to kind of convince themselves, but get clear in their thoughts on why this career change is a sound decision based on your values, your interest, your personality, and your skills. Another reason people do not make successful career transitions is they quit their job without a plan in place. So please don't quit your jobs. You're way more marketable when you are employed, even if it's not in the industry that you're aspiring to change to. Please be cautious about quitting your jobs. And the Great Resignation really is not about quitting your jobs. It really is about people changing careers versus quitting their jobs. people that we work with, what we've seen in the Great Resignation, it's again more about finding balance or work life balance, more remote or hybrid opportunities. So please don't quit your job until you have a transition plan or something else lined up. Through the years, I have seen hot jobs come and go. I know about 10 years ago when the job market was very, very tight, nursing was one of the few careers that people could get a job in at that time. So many people went into the field of healthcare and nursing when it was truly not a good fit. They were able to get work, but within a couple of years were dissatisfied and found out, golly, I should have done my homework. This really was not what I thought and not the best fit for my personality and skill set. So be careful of chasing hot jobs of the day. Also, as we've talked about, many people fail a career transition or job search because they rely on just looking at job boards. This is where you have to get out of your comfort zone. You have to network. You have to get involved with organizations with like-minded people. For example, if you're interested in becoming a human resource professional, most larger cities have a national chapter of SHRM and they welcome visitors. Some of them even offer scholarships to help people get their credentials for the field. Same with project managers. Many other industries have professional associations that either are meeting virtually or starting to meet back in person. Fabulous way to network. Several years ago, I had a career client that was kind of in a job he didn't really care much for, but it was a job. But he loved IT work on the side. It was a passion, nothing he studied in school. There was one particular programming language that he just got in the flow. He lost track of time and would really desire to transfer to do this, but didn't really have the money or the time to go back to school. So he found a user group of people in the region that also had either did this for their work or passion. And within a couple of months of him getting involved in that user group, he landed a wonderful career change job in a brand new field. So perhaps something as simple as finding a user group would help you network with the right people. So networking, strategically networking is also going to be significant with career changers. Sometimes people think, okay, if I just get that degree or that certification, then I'm automatically in. It's still going to take a little more effort, most likely. That will help your chances, but you need to supplement that with some of the other strategies we've talked about today in order to make a smoother career change. Also, failing to anticipate any objections. So that pivot story, being able to really convince, maybe you're not comfortable selling yourself, you're going to have to get comfortable selling yourself and persuading a hiring committee with a career change on why you're a good fit for this new career, what you've done to make that transition, transferable skills, all things that I know you can do. About a few pivots of people that we've worked with in the past. In the chat box, if you know of someone who's made an interesting pivot, maybe share what job they went from or what career they went from to what job they went to. You don't need to mention a name, but somebody that's been inspiring. People that pivot or change careers, they're inspiring for us all. So who do you know and what career have they gone from and to as a role model for career changing?
We have someone who went from education to HR. I personally know someone who went from teaching to nursing.
Awesome.
Executive secretary to computer software instructor. Very cool.
Interesting. Last fall, I did a presentation for a professional association of medical coders, and I learned that career it's very common for people to pivot to that career from a wide variety of backgrounds. So I thought that was really interesting.
Nursing to CEO. Very cool.
Awesome. Awesome. Great transferable skills, very inspiring stories. And we are all going to have lots of jobs and lots of careers in our work history. It makes life more interesting. Sometimes it's by choice, other times it's not. So the strategies we teach you in Job Club, we're teaching you to fish. We're teaching you how to conduct a job search, whether it's a career change or a job change, because we will likely have to do that multiple times throughout our careers. And we want you to do it successfully. We want you to be happy. We spend a lot of time at work, and life can be long or short. When we're in work and in careers that we enjoy, life is so much sweeter. I have a book that I highly recommend, a really good book called Switchers by Don Graham. Great strategies for people that are looking to career change. My closing thoughts before I open it up to a few questions would be, don't let fear of the unknown keep you from finding a passion career. Take baby steps. Involve your support system. Get your family on board, your friends, your loved ones. It may take some sacrifices on their part. Don't delay short-term pain for longer-term gain, and expect it to take a little longer than you would like. It never goes as fast as we would like, but it truly is a good time right now to consider a career change, job change, or to start thinking about encore careers. I'd like to open it up now and take a couple of questions.
So Hannah says, I've read different opinions on the effectiveness of cover letters. For instance, companies like Google don't even require one on a job application anymore. Would you suggest tailoring a cover letter that mirrors your pivot story? Or should a cover letter still be more of a traditional outline?
Great question. If a job board allows you the space to upload a cover letter, always include it. The reason being, if you are selected to be a finalist and perhaps brought in for an interview, and if you do not have a cover letter at that point and everyone else does, it makes you look bad. Bottom line, you don't look prepared. You look like you've not taken this opportunity seriously. And I would recommend that the cover letter mention a little bit about your pivot story, because sometimes that's hard to explain in a resume or on LinkedIn. And just take the elephant out of the room and address it in your cover letter. Other questions?
We have a comment from Margaret. She says, I think it was interesting that you defined a job change versus a career change. I think now I actually fall into the job change in the same industry rather than an actual career change. So it's really important in how to develop her strategy.
Thank you. I have a client from years ago that comes to mind on that. He came in and was completely convinced he needed a career change, and I wasn't sure where this was going to go either. But after a series of self-assessments and long and deep thinking about it, he came out of several sessions of career counseling realizing, this career I'm in is actually a little better fit with my skills and personality than I'm giving it credit for. And I just perhaps need to get a little better attitude adjustment, or I need to start learning to leave my work a little more at work and developing some outside hobbies and letting some things go at work that perhaps have upset me through the years, or maybe change companies. But what I'm doing actually is probably a very good fit. So thank you for sharing that. We love hearing career pivot stories, career change stories. So share those with us, share those with us. We love to hear those. Any other questions before I turn it over to Nicole to wrap up?
How much, if any, will being in my mid-50s affect an employer's willingness to hire?
Okay. It's another example of it's a great time. We get success stories all the time. The one that we read at the beginning today of people mid and late career that are getting wonderful jobs. So you need to be able to market why you are a good employee, being late career. Dependable, reliable usually, can be a mentor to other employees. Maybe you have a broader network than someone earlier in their career. You're more focused, you know what you want to do and what your strengths are and what you can bring to the table. So have a few things ready to share if you're concerned about that. But we're seeing people late career getting incredible jobs. So it's a good time to search.
Is there anything else that you'd like to add about age when you're considering a career change?
Just physically, as long as you're able to do the job physically, go for it. Don't draw attention to perhaps any aches. You know, if you've got the knee that isn't quite cooperating, don't draw attention. Maybe you need to update your look. Occasionally, we'll have a job club meeting where we focus strictly on late career job seekers and what they can do to prevent ageism. You know, maybe you need to update your hairdo or your clothing for your interview suit or your eyeglass frames. Make sure your technology skills are relevant. Perhaps take a class. So eliminate anything that could be seen as a barrier to a late career professional. But as long as you have transferable, marketable, up-to-date skills, you are a great candidate.
This will be our last question from the chat. If an employer requests a specific request letter in the required documents when applying, what does that mean?
That is a good question. I think it would depend upon the company and what they may be looking for. I would reach out to the employer to get more specific directions on that. Every once in a while, you don't see that as much as you used to. Every once in a while, they may request a sample of your writing, a sample of, if it's a marketing job, your portfolio, some of your pieces, but reach out to the employer to get specifics on that. That could be very industry specific. Thank you all so much for joining us today. Alumni Career Services are here to help you in your job search, and we wish you the best. We look forward to Job Club and having you with us, and I'll turn it over to Nicole now.
All righty, can you guys hear me? Everyone can hear me okay? Great presentation, Caroline. Of course, she's always full of great information and wisdom. So thank you again for that great presentation. Okay, so we're going to open this up into our audience. Oh, well, I should say if there are any employers with any job leads or anything that you would like to share. Oh, sorry. Who's hiring? Alrighty, so employers with active job leads. Please make your way to the podium. And of course, if there's anyone online, we will get to those also. So we're going to speak with our attendees today that may be here to share job leads.
Good morning, everyone, and thank you for having us. My name is Keith, and with me today is Caroline, and we're from the FBI. Currently, we are hiring FBI special agents. For those that aren't familiar with the FBI, we are a federal law enforcement intelligence agency that is based in the United States. We have offices throughout the United States, and we also have offices overseas as well. Currently, we have approximately 36,000 employees. Special agents are responsible for investigating both criminal matters, national security matters, some of the highest profile cases that you'll see, including white collar crime with Bernie Madoff, all the way to counterterrorism matters such as Al Qaeda and ISIS. Special agents come from a variety of backgrounds, including engineers, lawyers, accountants, marketing, the list goes on and on. So speaking of a career pivot, many people pivot to our agency. You do not need military or law enforcement background. The FBI Academy will teach you all those skills to be a successful agent. So if you're looking for an organization with endless opportunities, the ability to make a positive impact, not only in the community, but worldwide, also job stability, our agency is not closing, so we're going to definitely be around. And we do have a retention rate of about 99% as well. That can be attributed to some of our positive work environment, medical benefits, and also pension. If you have any questions of us, please feel free to reach out to us at FBI. Our email address is going to be globalApplicants@fbi.gov. That's all one word, globalApplicants@fbi.gov. Also, our website where all of the jobs we posted is fbijobs.gov. And lastly, we do have other positions as well outside of the special agent position, which range from forensic accountants, computer scientists, data analysts, and the list goes on and on. And the majority of those can also be found on that website, fbijobs.gov.
Thank you. Alrighty. Okay, and we have Sarah Talbot, it is, Manager of Strategic Talent Acquisition. You want to share some job leads with us also?
Good morning. My name is Sarah Talbot, and I currently am the Manager of Strategic Talent Acquisition at KCTCS, so our local community colleges, and we have 16 community colleges across the state of Kentucky. We go all the way from Ashland to Paducah with 70 campuses, and we are currently hiring at all of our colleges. Currently right now, what we're hiring for in Central Kentucky are some computer programming jobs, some procure to pay analyst jobs, coordinator of institutional research and effectiveness, along with some other positions. So like I said, we are across the state. We're always also looking for adjunct professors during our semesters. So if you have a master's degree in a specific subject, your college, most likely in your area, will hire for you. You can get on our website at www.kctcs.edu, and there's a job seeker button you click, and then you can sort it out by your school, by your location, and see what jobs are available. Oh, and if you'd like to follow up with me or talk to me about any jobs, you're more than welcome to email me. My email is Sarah, SARA.TALBOTT@kctcs.edu.
All right. Thank you. Thank you. Okay. Is there anyone else here? Okay. Do we have employers online that would like to share some job leads? No? All righty. Okay. All righty. Job club facilitators, news and programs. All righty. So our Fayette County Fayette County Corporate Extension. Let's see here. Office. See here, if you want to check out your local extension office, and I'll hear there are a variety of programs offered to families and children, ranging from horticulture, as you can see. We have 4-H here, family community, consumer sciences, sorry about that, and nutrition education, that's a fun one. So once again, if you want to hear anything about or research more about Fayette County Corporate Extension Office, please visit the website. Of course, you can check out more about our financial management and things like that on our website also. All righty, and I am Nicole Waite. Once again, I was mentioned in the beginning, and I actually work as a as an employment specialist, I should say, for human resources with the University of Kentucky STEPS Temporary Employment. This is a great way for you to get your foot in the door with the University of Kentucky if you're interested in employment, or if you've just been applying and you're kind of like, why is this taking so long? Or even if you just want to, as Carolyn mentioned, just learn some new skills, trying a different job. If you have those, skills that you can plug in when applying, update that resume. These are real jobs. Some people always ask, whether or not these are real life. These are real jobs. This is real experience with the University of Kentucky. You do get to take advantage of some of the benefits that we have here, which is medical, dental, and vision if you're working in a temporary position. So I don't want to fail to mention that. Also, as I mentioned, some of those transferable skills, you're going to learn all the systems that regular employees, get to interact in all of the regular systems that regular employees actually interact in, et cetera. I mean, the list goes on. And so it is a great way to get that leaped ahead. It makes you more valuable. Of course, when you are applying for a regular position, you'll already have those skill sets. So, and I can mention some of the job leads that we have here, and we'll have that listed in the chat box. Steps, let's see here, publicity assistant, patient relations assistant, a screening coordinator for COVID. And we have a receptionist for the College of Nursing and an account clerk. There are many more. Those are just some of our top 5 that I've listed here, and we will have others listed once again in the chat box, and it'll also be posted on LinkedIn later today. So please take advantage of that. We would love to hear from you in steps. Alrighty, Alumni Career Services. Of course, we are here to help you guys. So please take advantage of, you can also, I should say, take a look at this website here at www.ukalumni.net/careers and just look at the different opportunities or services that are available, from resume writing, job searching strategies, as Carolyn has mentioned in the presentation today. And many more. So please visit that website. And this is also where you would go to enroll or learn more about the subjects that are coming up for Job Club in the future. Alrighty, speaking of Job Club in the future, so the next time at Job Club, which is going to be February 8th, we are going to talk about building a foundation. Well, I should say the subject is going to be about building a foundation for success and how to ace your interview. And so this will be another great presentation by April Spellman, Manager, People and Culture, at Gray Solutions. And once again, you can register at www.ukalumni.net/job club. Or if you want to take your smartphones right now and scan, you can actually scan so that you can go ahead and the website will pop up and you can go ahead and register for some of those courses also. And once again, we want to thank you from UK Alumni Association, the University of Kentucky College of Agriculture, Food and Environment, Corporate Extension Services, and UK Human Resources, Steps Temporary Employment. Thank you again for joining us at Job Club. Thank you for sharing the job leads. And thank you guys for all your questions today. It was a really great presentation. So we'll see you next time at Job Club.